Hey, this is Irvin Griffin, and welcome to another edition of Grown Man Talk. And I think the song in the background plays it very well, the mentality of some men, and I'm talking strictly to the men, but particularly to my black brothers. And I've seen this topic up a couple of times online and on social media. But a lot of times they just go into ranting and stuff. I'll try not to do that. I'll try to be clear and concise. And basically it's the subject of dudes chasing, if I can borrow it from Rush Hour, Jackie Chan, dudes chasing Mooshu instead of Moolah. You'll get what I mean in a second. And we have a bad habit of always wanting to chase, such as this fine picture of Keisha Cole right here. We have a bad habit of be chasing women, but we don't chase money. We don't hustle for money like we do women. And what's the old saying? You'll lose, and I'm gonna put it in a clean way. You'll lose Moolah chasing Mooshu, but you never lose Mooshu chasing Moolah. I mean, there's truth to it, but it's like we're so focused on, and I'm related also to this rash of sexual allegations and stuff, which all of them I do not believe, by the way. I do not believe every single one of them. I think a lot of them is a bunch of BS. I think the responses to them have also been over the top. That being said, though, this is why I often say to guys, when I'm out and about, I'm like, y'all can't do my job. And it's not because they're stupid or not mentally capable of doing it, but their problem is they're not focused. They're too busy trying to chase the females. And they want to bring that street stuff into the workplace. And that's a definite no-no, especially if you black. That's a definite no-no at the workplace. Save the streets for the streets. But when you're in the workplace, you got to act completely different. And no, it's not about acting white. Which, by the way, we need to stop saying stuff like that. Because when you say stuff like that, you're giving white folks way too much credit, because honestly some of them act just as bad. Some of the white men act just as bad. You're giving them way too much credit when you say that. It's not about acting white, it's about acting right. It's about protecting yourself from losing your job at the minimum, or at the maximum possibly getting criminal charges. Because when you're more focused on doing your job and making your paper, I don't care if it's $20,000, I don't care if it's a $200,000 a year. When you're more focused on making paper, you're not worried about Mooshu. You're not worried about that. In fact, a lot of times, especially if you're making that high paper, the Mooshu will come find you, if you get my drift. They'll come by, and not just any of them. I mean, yeah, you'll get the chicken heads too, but you'll get the quality Mooshu, the ones that are about something. But you see, we're so thirsty for a win, we'll take any old thing or try to holler at any old thing. Like, I get asked all the time, like, Irv, how you work around all those pretty women? I said, easy. I'm there to do a job. I'm not there to get a date. If I want some Mooshu, I'll get it on my own time from somebody that I don't work with. Like, man, and I'll get guys, and I think they know what I'm saying, but they're trying to get me to say something different. By challenging it when there's nothing to challenge. There's nothing to challenge. Go there, do your job, say good morning, how you doing, then when you punch out, good night. I mean, I barely give handshakes, let alone hug. And that's another thing I discussed in my previous video. Men in general, but brothers in particular, we have a bad habit of wanting to hug women. And especially in this climate, it's a big mistake. Because let me put it in language that some of y'all can understand. If they'll crucify these white boys like they doing, like these white men, these ultra powerful white men, if they'll crucify them, they'll practically boil our black behinds alive. Okay? Let me put it in that language that you can understand. It ain't about being a hater. It ain't about none of that. It's about protecting yourself. Plus, if we were more focused on Moolah rather than Mooshu, maybe some of the things we complain about, our own businesses, our better neighborhoods and stuff, maybe if we focused more on that and less on Mooshu, perhaps we'd have all those things. You know, a lot of the things that we decried the celebrities for not supporting the black community, which there's truth to it to a degree. But here's the thing. We could have been dug ourselves out of a lot of that. And one of the main reasons is most black men, not all, of course. There's some black men that are about their business around, but they're often working with maybe a few trusted brothers, and unfortunately they have to work with outside sources. Yes, that's including white sources, because the community as a whole is not behind them. They're more behind Ray Ray and Pookie, who be in and out of jail, who don't care. Which, by the way, we have a bad habit of wanting to save those that don't really want to be saved. We can't save them. Let them go. Let them go. I said, let them go. I mean, sometimes they're even family members, but sometimes you just gotta let them go. You gotta let them make their own mistakes and figure it out for themselves. Now, if they ever want to come back and come correct and be for real, then you'll see about making up with them over a period of time. You just don't let them back in instantly. No, you gotta make them earn it to a degree. But if they still out there playing their same games and stuff, like when they was like 15, 16, and that's one thing. The guys that chase Mooshu rather than Moolah, they've been doing this since they was like 15, 16 years old, and nobody has ever really checked them. You see, with me, I could have been on that route, but here's the thing. Yeah, I might have looked at it as unfair and this and that at the time, but looking back on it to a degree, I'm glad I got checked. I got checked earlier on, whereas a lot of these cats, they never really got checked. Or it was so ingrained in them that by the time they did get checked, it didn't register. They just thought, it was racism or somebody was hating on them and this and that. And they just, well, let me tell you something. You Mooshu chasing guys, most of these females don't love you like that. They don't even like you like that, honestly. And really, to be honest, I'm putting this as a grown man talk, but this could almost be a simping epidemic on all levels video. But seriously, when you chase the Moolah rather than the Mooshu, now, I'm not saying don't be totally obsessed with money, because that can be dangerous too. When you're totally obsessed with money above all else, you kind of edge God out. And I'm not going to preach to nobody, but when you edge your spiritual side, that keeps you anchored, because not all money is good money. And what that moral side does, it keeps you somewhat centered on what's not good money and what is, or what's not good moolah and what is. But one thing about it, when you chase something that depreciates in value, moolah and manhood, yeah, I'm gonna talk about the man's draw, what's in his draws too. Moolah and Mooshu depreciates over time, even if it's still, shall we say, functional as you get older. It still depreciates over time. Whereas if you build up your moolah and actually invest it right and grow it right, that could actually grow in value. That will outlive you. That will benefit your children. That will benefit your grandchildren, even if you do it right. Mooshu does not increase in value over time. It decreases, as well as manhood. Ladies, you can take a little lesson here too. Manhood, in terms of the genitalia, depreciates over time, even if it's still functional. Moolah, when grown right, does not. That's basically, I'm putting it in a more metaphoric way because I'm keeping myself clean, but I hope you get what I'm saying here. It ain't all about chasing the woman. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hollering at women here and there, but you got to know when to do it, and you got to know how to do it. Guys always want to do that no matter where they're at, when they see a pretty woman looking like a horn dog, and adding to the stereotype about black men, particularly being nothing but horny horde dogs, baby makers, don't take care of their families, when you can find men in all races that do the same thing, yet they don't get settled with that stereotype. We do. And we do nothing to dissuade that. Well, we know there are good fathers in the black community, but they don't get spotlighted. Basically, we have to spotlight them just to shut that down. Now, some people will see that and be like, oh, well, I was mistaken, I apologize. But most won't. They'll stubbornly stick to that. Most black fathers are not good. They'll stubbornly cling to that truth, to that quote unquote truth, even when you've proven that it's a lie. But in any case, that's all I really got to say on this. Hope you got something out of it. Chase Moolah, not Mooshu. For Grown Man Talk, I'm Irvin Griffin. You have a nice day, folks, and a happy new year.
Yeah, yeah.